Whenever I travel back to Japan, one thing always catches me off guard. People here sleep on what looks like almost nothing, a thin mat close to the floor, and they wake up genuinely rested. Meanwhile, back home, we spend thousands on the thickest mattress we can find and still stare at the ceiling at 2 in the morning. Here's the thing. What if that mattress is exactly what's keeping you awake? The Japanese have a centuries-old tradition of sleeping on a floor mat called a Shiki-Futon. And what it quietly does to your body's sleep signals is something most Western sleep advice completely misses. The first time I actually lay down on a Shiki-Futon, I remember thinking, this can't be right. It was thin, maybe 3 or 4 fingers deep, and firm in a way that left no ambiguity about where the floor ended and where I began. No sink, no give, no cloud-like embrace. Just a clean, cotton-filled mat close to the ground, smelling faintly of the morning sun it had been aired in a few hours earlier. That smell is something I don't think I'll ever forget. There's a practice called futon-hoshi, literally futon drying, where the mat is hung or laid out in direct sunlight each morning. It strips the moisture, resets the fabric, and by the time you unroll it again at night, it smells like warmth and open air rather than the sealed, slightly stale atmosphere of a bed that hasn't moved in 3 years. That physical setup, thin, firm, close to a cool floor, isn't just a cultural preference. It's doing something to your body that your $1,000 mattress almost certainly isn't. Your brain starts preparing for sleep roughly 1 to 2 hours before you actually close your eyes. What it's doing, specifically, is cooling you down. The brain's master circadian clock signals the body to begin redistributing heat. Blood vessels in the hands and feet dilate, allowing heat to escape from the body's surface and driving down core temperature. That drop is not optional. It is the trigger. Research published in the Journal of Applied Physiology, Bigalki et al., 2023, and broader sleep thermoregulation literature has found that pre-sleep core body temperature decline is associated with sleep onset and quality. People who cool down faster tend to fall asleep faster, and those who cool down slowly often report chronic insomnia. Now think about what a thick Western mattress does. It wraps around you. It traps the heat your body is desperately trying to shed. The foam conforms to your shape, sealing in warmth like an insulating layer that works directly against the biological event your brain is trying to execute. You're lying on a heat-retaining surface under a heavy duvet in a room that's probably warmer than your body needs. And then you wonder why sleep won't come. A Shiki-Futon, by contrast, lies directly on the floor. Cool air tends to settle lower in a room. Floors are typically the coolest surface in a naturally ventilated space. The mat is thin enough that your body heat isn't trapped beneath you. The surface breathes. The result is that the temperature drop your brain ordered actually happens. Cleanly, quickly, without resistance. And then there's the second signal, the one almost nobody talks about. Sleep scientists call it sleep pressure. Specifically, the buildup of a compound called adenosine in the brain throughout the day. The longer you've been awake, the more adenosine accumulates, and the stronger the biological urge to sleep becomes. The problem is that sleep pressure depends heavily on association. Your brain needs to learn that a specific surface means one thing only: sleep. The moment that surface becomes the place where you scroll, watch, eat, answer messages, or lie half awake on a Sunday morning, the association weakens. The brain stops treating it as a sleep cue and starts treating it as just another place you exist. A Shiki-Futon is never a lounge. It's never a couch. It's never a desk. It gets rolled up each morning and put away, completely removed from the room's daytime identity, and brought out only when the day is genuinely over. Every single night, the act of unrolling it is a signal. The brain receives it clearly. This is what sleep looks like. That consistency, repeated across weeks and months, rebuilds the very association that years of bedroom screen time have quietly eroded. So the Shiki-Futon isn't just a mat, it's a system, one that works with the body's two core sleep signals instead of against them. Which raises an uncomfortable question. If the floor has been solving insomnia for centuries, why does every sleep expert in the West keep telling us the answer is a better mattress? So here's a quick question. Does your bedroom have one surface that does double duty? Sleeping, scrolling, eating, all of it? Drop your answer in the comments below, because what comes next explains exactly why that might be the single biggest reason sleep won't come. But here's what Western sleep advice almost never mentions. The mattress itself is only half the equation. The ritual around it is where most of the real work happens. Think about what the Shiki-Futon's daily cycle actually looks like. Every morning, the mat is rolled up, tucked away, and the room becomes something else entirely. A living space, a workspace, a place that has nothing to do with sleep. Then, at the end of the day, it comes back out. That's it. That single act of putting it away and bringing it back is not a chore. It is, whether the person doing it realizes it or not, one of the most powerful behavioral sleep tools that exists. Western sleep medicine has a name for this. It's called stimulus control therapy, and it is one of the most well-established behavioral components of insomnia treatment, with a strong evidence base as part of cognitive behavioral therapy for insomnia, CBTI. The core instruction is simple. Your sleep surface should be used for sleep and nothing else. The moment your brain stops associating your bed with sleep specifically and starts associating it with everything else you do there, the sleep cue collapses. The brain stops receiving a clear signal that the day is over. I remember, growing up around this, there was something almost ceremonial about the moment the futon came out. It wasn't just laying down a mat. It was the household's collective exhale, a physical declaration that the day had ended. There was no ambiguity. The futon was out, which meant the day was done, which meant the body could let go. That kind of clarity is something a bed that never moves simply cannot provide. A permanent bed is always there. It makes no announcement. It marks no boundary. And then there's the morning side of the ritual, which feeds directly back into what the previous section covered. Airing the futon, hanging it in sunlight, letting direct light and dry air move through the cotton, does something beyond just reducing dust mites and moisture, though it does both of those things effectively. It means that every single night, the surface you sleep on carries a sensory memory of the outdoors, of warmth, of light, of the world that exists on the other side of sleep. That's not a poetic flourish. Scent and sensory association are deeply tied to the brain's contextual memory systems, and a sleep surface that smells like fresh air and sunlight is neurologically different from one that smells like the sealed, static interior of a room that never changes. So what does any of this mean for someone sleeping on a Western bed tonight? The Shiki-Futon method is not really about the mat. It never was. It's about the principles the mat enforces. And those principles are entirely portable. Keep your sleep space as cool as you can manage. Cool air pools low, and your body needs to shed heat to fall asleep. Anything that traps warmth works against that process. Keep your sleep surface firm enough that your body isn't cradled and insulated. If you can, open a window in the morning and let light and air reach your bedding, even just for 20 minutes. And most importantly, stop using your bed for everything. Read on the couch, scroll in a chair, work at a desk. Reserve the bed for the single function your brain needs to associate with it. If you can't roll your mattress up each morning, build some version of the boundary anyway. A consistent time you get in, a consistent time you get out, and nothing in between that isn't sleep. The Shiki-Futon works not because Japan has access to some secret the rest of the world is missing. It works because it never stopped listening to what the body actually needs to cross from wakefulness into sleep. A cool surface, a clear signal, and a ritual that tells the brain, without any ambiguity, that the day is finished. I'm genuinely curious. Do you think you could actually sleep on the floor? Or does the idea alone keep you awake? Let me know in the comments, because the answers there are usually more revealing than people expect. Subscribe for more on how Japan quietly solves what the rest of the world overcomplicates. And watch this one next.